What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux. So today we're going to be talking about Marcus. So Marcus recently came out, and a lot of people, especially on the global side, aren't really impressed. But a lot of seeing people are, because they're seeing what her kit can do in battles. So we are going to go into some 4-man content to really show her. Now, I will say that in a raid, it is not a true way to show off a character, because typically these raids benefit these characters a lot and numbers are going to be really crazy. But what I simply want to show is just how her kit works, right? That way a lot of you can see how you like her. So with her I3, you want to put her on a team with plant, intelligence, and spirit characters. That is mainly what you want to make your team up of, and then the fourth slot can be whatever you might want it to be, right? So with Marcus itself being plant, she counts as 1. Now, the second option that you can do is going to be between Anneli and Druvis, right? So with Druvis, it really depends on the content. Druvis does provide the plant heal with the Circle of Life, but at times it's not enough healing, so you would probably still want a little more, especially depending on the enemy that you are facing. If you're getting a lot of burst damage with Druvis, there it's just going to be a hard time, even with 6, to keep it up. I know a lot of people were telling me, yo, you don't need a healer if you have Druvis. Look, some of the content, you just can't, it's just not going to be enough with you. So for this specific raid, that way we don't wipe a lot, we're just going to put Anna and Lee, and then we're gonna rock 6 with us, right? I cannot rock my Isolde because my Isolde is P5, but also with Isolde, you're kind of wanting to have a more crit focused character, and that would force me to use Tooth Fairy, which using Marcus with Tooth Fairy isn't exactly the best. I know a lot of people have told me, nah man, you just don't understand, like Tooth Fairy, especially in this raid, she doesn't heal me enough, and the Marcus isn't crit enough to justify having her. So we're gonna run Marcus, Anneli, 6, and then we're gonna run Yenny. Yenny is also a great option to run with Marcus because Yenny also has weakness. She upgrades her cards as well, and she protects the team. So she's just a great healer. I've been using Yenny a lot lately, and I've just been really enjoying it. So let's go ahead and get into here. Right, so this is a little bit perfect of a situation where we have a boss, and you get to see how the mark works, right? It goes onto the boss as a priority. Now, if you're in a content where it's just all enemies, and it just prioritizes just whatever it believes to be the greatest threat, but we're in here and it's going to target the boss, so we're going to get extra damage on our abilities when we do this. Now, with us being P0, we get Eureka coming into the match as a start, and then we get a Eureka each turn, right? So we had 2 Eureka, and it upgraded this card straight up, right? So our attack card is going to start with a 2-star incantation. That's what makes her really strong, is that some units have that downtime where they need to build up to their ult, or they're needing to get higher level cards. Marcus can already start off with that higher level card, right? So let's go ahead and buff ourselves, and we're going to do 2 incantations. And what we're really looking for is just spam the incantations, getting that extra moxie from those, right? 2-star and higher, and that's really all we're worried about, right? And we're already at 3 moxie at leading into turn 2, which is huge. And then we get more Eureka as the boss acts, right? So we do hopefully want an enemy that is marked that acts a bunch of times. Now, this boss is specifically made for her because he has extra additional follow-up attacks that goes with it. Now, we see here that we just got a big merge from our Yenny, which is pretty huge, and then we also have Anna and Lee, who upgrades her cards. This is really great with the team with Marcus because you can refresh these and, hope to Jesus that you get a, see, there you go. You got a upgraded card, so we're going to go ahead and use this here. I'm not going to use the level 1 incantation because I want that to be upgraded personally, but we'll go ahead and debuff the boss. And go ahead and do that there, and then we'll do a couple of attacks. but we want to get our cards upgraded. We want to use mostly 2-star or higher, especially if we can help it, right? So using your tuning skill is going to be really great with this character. Grand Orchestra is one that is possible, but honestly with a team like this, I would prefer to be able to shuffle. That just honestly is a little bit more beneficial in my opinion than having the Grand Orchestra. Now see here, we're trying to hope for a shuffle in our favor, but we didn't quite get it, but it's fine. We're gonna ult here, and let me go ahead and debuff the enemy, buff us up, and then use the ult, and then we'll get an extra card, and we'll also get extra Eureka as well.
Until the torch is lit.
Alright, and this ult is going to be AoE. A lot of people were believing that this wouldn't do any damage, but it does. That's a decent amount of damage, but that's not her main focus, right? Her main focus is her incantations. So you see we're getting all these cards that are upgrading from the other units, and we just got a big upgrades there. So we're going to go ahead and merge. Then we're going to upgrade ourselves, get ourselves Empower Incantation from 6. A lot of you will see how he works in the future. Alright, and so we have 2 and 3-star, and so we should, if everything goes right, we should, yeah, we're gonna ult now, because we got the extra Moxie from the buff that we have, and wow, that was a 40k, that was 40k non-crit, it's pretty big, so we have ult again, right? And so we can refresh if we want. We have a lot of different cards. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle. Yep, there we go. So we're gonna buff up and hit the ult, and I'm gonna go ahead and do 6's ult and then get rid of this incantation. So if we would have got a shuffle in our favor, a little bit better, would have been helpful. But we haven't even upgraded any cards yet. I'm just mainly using the shuffle because I have the Empower Incantation. I have Yenny who can upgrade her cards. I have Anan who constantly upgrades cards. Like, I'm just using that to my favor to just do quite a bit of damage. Now I am ignoring the mechanic on this boss just because I'm wanting to show off Marcus. So don't worry about that there. Alright, so you see we still have a lot of these upgraded cards here. Now I don't want to shuffle just yet because we have a 3-star card coming here. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use the buff even though we already have it, and go ahead and use this incantation, and then actually we're gonna buff here. We're gonna buff ourselves. We're gonna do this incantation. You know what, I'm actually gonna save one of these because it's gonna upgrade and we're gonna get our ult anyways. So sometimes it's just better to not take the merge. That way you just have the extra upgraded card to get even more Moxie, because if you get a really good rotation off, you can just pretty much spam the ult with Marcus, which is really cool. And there's nothing in the raid that is giving me extra Moxie. This is all part of her kit. See, so now we can ult here, and then we're gonna do 2 of these cards. And if I would have refreshed there, I probably would have been able to get the ult, but we're just gonna take the cards that we have. But as you can see, you're pretty much using nothing but 2 and 3-star cards with the character. If you do use Grand Orchestra, then that's like just easy merges that you can do. And if you don't find any cards, and especially if you're using like this team, you can just like literally just refresh. But you see there, we just got another 3-star card. So we're gonna go ahead and buff up. And then use 3-star card. And we have ult again, right? Like, it's just honestly that simple. Like, you're using, I mean, for a lot of you playing in global, like, you're using ult pretty much just as often as like a Melania would. and it's really nice. Now in this team, if you don't have these exact units, you can obviously switch it around. You can do whatever works best for you. I think that this team works really well. I will say that possibly Marcus is out before we get like a really great, like, you know, next healer that works with her as a 6-star, you know, another mental support. All of those things will increase Marcus, so she's definitely a unit that myself and chat included was like, she's definitely an investment unit. When it comes to now the big question, right? When it comes to, am I going to be using Marcus over Jessica, right? Now, Jessica's benefit right now in global is that she's the only, she's really the only plant DPS that we have to work with, right? And so it's really hard to just be like, I'm not gonna go for her. But I will say that if you came into the game after Jessica, you don't have Jessica, or you're just not really digging Jessica's playstyle, Marcus is a really fun character. You're not having to worry about like any poison. You're not having to, you know, run a very specific healer. With Marcus, you can run any healer that you want, meaning you guys can run your Tooth Fairies if you just want to do some crit fishing with her, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing, because her crit is not that great. But if you are willing to do that, you can do that with Marcus, right? If you're the type who likes seeing cards upgraded, if you like really using the tuning skills and being able to just shuffle a bunch, and she just crit twice. As I was saying, oh, she doesn't have that much crit. But honestly though, her crit is not great. It's like 22% right now. And I used her with Tooth Fairy and it just didn't feel good. But I think she's a really fun character, especially if you like using the tuning skills, if you like being able to get just level 2, level 3 cards consistently, and then you have your other allies that can also do that. You have some decent amount of sustain and mitigation with the weakness, with the damage reduction, the random buffs that 6 gives. You have the shielding on this team. This is a team that is also fairly easy to get, right? You're gonna get a Yini whenever you're pulling for Joe. She's gonna be on that banner and she's gonna be fairly easy to get there. 6, most of you will have 6. And then you can still swap out 6 on this team and put, you know, whoever you want, right? If you want to have Druvis on here, you can do that. If you don't have Ann and Lee, you can definitely put Druvis. She can be like another DPS on this team as well. Even if you're not fighting against anything to be petrified, Druvis can just do decent damage, right? And if a healer, like I said, you can swap out whoever you want there. So it's not that restrictive, especially if you have a character like, you know, 6, or Click, or, you know, X, like whoever you want, you can put in that spot, and then you just need to have another plant character, right? So of the plant characters, you have Sodavi, Druvis, and Lee, or LaSource if you want to use LaSource as your healer to cover that too. You have many other options. It does seem limited, but the characters that you have to work with her really well, right? Because I mean, there's other characters that have limited teams also. But guys, let me know what you think about Marcus. If you guys want to see more, please check it out on the live streams, right? Because the live streams, I can actually talk about her in larger detail and show you her in more content, right? Because I just don't want the videos to be too long. But yeah, like up the video to help me out. Also sub up to the channel. Hoping to get up to 10K sometime, maybe by the end of the year. Hopefully, right? It would be amazing. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You lucky gamers, have a good one. Let's go.